What's going on, Soul Fam? Welcome to Mira D Tarot. I'm Mira D here today with your new moon in Pisces reading for March the 13th of 2021. To all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for being here. To all of my old subscribers, thank you so much for your support. And to anybody who's new to this channel or video, hit the subscribe button down below for new moon, full moon, and monthly tarot readings and meditations. All right, I'll get right into this full moon and what the energies are doing out here these days. So, as we all know, we're in Pisces season, and Pisces season is all about the dreamer. Now, the dreamer can have two aspects. The dreamer can be imaginative and start building ideas that are going to come into the physical world eventually, or the dreamer can be someone who is lost in delusion and not really ready to face reality. So, this is a time for you to stop and take a deep breath and assess where you are in this situation. This is especially important for our water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We are guilty. I'm Scorpio, by the way. But we are guilty of living in the illusions of what it is that we wish would be. And we're not looking at the reality of a situation. For example, you may have had an experience with a person once upon a time, and it may have been the most amazing, spiritual, deep, like life-changing experience ever. However, that experience may not have happened again with that person, and we may still be sitting here in our minds thinking about that feeling and chasing that feeling and putting ourselves in a position where we're not facing the reality of the situation. Now, the reality of the situation may be that only 2% of the time that we're around this person are they meeting our needs, and is that feeling showing up, and the other 98% of the time you're chasing that feeling. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because y'all can't answer me right now. I can't hear y'all. So, but the whole point is that, are we in a place where we are being realistic with ourselves about what's going on in our situations? Because when we are in a place of pulling the wool over our own eyes, then we are locking up our energy to move and flow in the direction of what it is that actually is going to give us that feeling, or actually is going to bring us some type of growth. All right. So this goes for everybody across the zodiac. Where are you lying to yourself? Be honest with yourself, because being honest with yourself is how you're going to be able to step outside of that and start to move in the direction of flow. With Aries season coming up, y'all, this is definitely our big time to dream big. It's not so much a time for bringing things into the physical world, so much it is a time for us to use one of the most powerful tools that we have, which is our imagination. So if it helps, like, go sit with a friend and y'all talk back and forth about what's going on and what you guys are going to be doing and everything. Like, like, oh yeah, like, oh, like I did this thing, or like, oh, this thing is coming into reality. Or yeah, you remember that time I like got that new car? Oh yeah. Like, so you want to kind of talk about these things as if they have already happened, or as if they have already shown up in your life. And you want to just kind of sit back and go back and forth, let that energy flow. And the main thing with imagination is let it be fun. It doesn't have to be a thing, and it doesn't need to be a thing where you're holding on to it and trying to force it to happen. When you put that out there, it's going to return to you. So you don't have to force it. The sun has never once in its entire existence forgotten to rise. The fall is never forgotten to come. And so there is a force bigger than ourselves, and a force that is within all things that makes sure that things get done when they're supposed to. So your job is to have a great time visualizing and imagining and writing and speaking back and forth with your friends about what you want to bring into this space, and then letting it go and watching it show up in some type of way later on down the line in Aries season. So this new moon, what is this new moon good for? New moons are always good for setting intentions for the next 28 days. What do we want to bring in this cycle? And so the new moon is all, like I said, about Pisces. It's about thinking bigger than you ever have before, letting yourself go wild with the thoughts, letting yourself imagine things that may seem impossible to you right now. And the thing is that if you look at your life where you are right now, everything that you have at one point seemed impossible to a version of yourself that was dreaming of it. All right, take a second, let that sit in. Okay. And so when you think about that, then it just makes you realize that it's only a matter of time before the things that you're asking for now are going to show up for you. Okay. And so we have to let this Pisces season allow us to understand that the physical reality and what's here right now does not define what we're capable of. It does not define what we're able to do. It does not define what is possible for us. And so we have to just actually sit down and be patient and trust. Trust is the biggest thing for us, is trusting that the things that we are asking for are going to show up, because they are. And they're going to show up in their own time, exactly when they need to. Not your time, but divine time. Okay. So with this Pisces new moon, I would say it's a good time to set big intentions and to allow yourself to start to dream things up that, to dream things up that you haven't previously thought possible and all that good stuff. There are a bunch of planets hanging out in Pisces, but I'm not going to get into that all today. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the tarot reading. So hang tight. All right, soul fam. So today we are working with the trusty Thoth deck, which is, the classic. It is based on ancient Egyptian magic and Hermetic principles. You can check it out. It is the other classic deck that is not the Rider-Waite deck. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It gets really in detail about things. And so this time I'm going to look up what we're releasing, what we're bringing in, and how we can sustain that. So it'll be a pretty short reading, but we don't need to get all lengthy and wordy here. Sometimes, simplicity is where it's at. Okay. Yep, that's it. That's the shuffle. All right, so what we're releasing. The Hierophant comes up in the position of what we're releasing, and the Hierophant comes up to basically releasing the things, our lower selves, releasing the things that hold us back. A friend of mine and we were talking about how it has come to a point for us recently where there are just certain things in our lives that we just looked at and we were like, you know what? Oh, I don't have to do this anymore. And so that's what we're kind of coming to, is like, as you can see in the bottom of this card, there's a little shadow person here, this little lady, and she's shining light into the higher realms. And so what this talks about is just really allowing yourself to release. It'll come up on its own. We don't have to force it. We don't have to sit down and think about it. The mind actually takes us further away from this. This is something that's going to come through the soul, and something that's going to manifest in the is going to manifest in the way of insight, not thought. Okay. And so the Hierophant comes up to say that we're releasing the things that keep us from tapping into our higher selves, or our highest selves. So this is what's going on. So the Hierophant comes up. I'll put that there. And then what we're bringing in is the Knight of Swords, movement. The Knight of Swords is about not thinking so much. So this whole Pisces season, again, it is about the imagination. And imagination is not the same thing as thought. Thought is something that is more logical, constrictive, and controlling, whereas imagination is our creative side. It's our ability to pull things from the ether, And so the Knight of Swords says that we're not in a place of thinking so much, y'all. We have to really sit ourselves down and say, well, we don't have to sit ourselves down at all. Actually, we just need to act on the things that are coming up. So what is it that you're getting an instinct to do? You don't need to ask questions. You don't need to try to figure out why right now. But if you feel inspired to do something, do it. This is about movement. This is about travel. This is about not only physical travel, but this is also about travel as far as it goes with the mind. Kind of like it says in The Wrinkle in Time, is you can travel all of these places with simply your mind. And so that is what we're getting into. The Pisces season really does allow us to tap into the part of ourselves that has been kind of seen as taboo, the intuition, the things that we were kind of the daydreaming, things like that were kind of taken away from us, back when we were in school and stuff like that, the things we've been ridiculed about and the things that have seemed and been told to us to be negative. These things are actually some of our greatest powers. And so this Pisces season allows you the opportunity to play with these things and play with these aspects and let them come up to the surface. So this is really also a good time to bring up your inner child, and really a good time to get into anything creative, anything that gets that energy flowing through you. So the Knight of Swords is definitely about just going with it and letting it make sense later. Okay. All right. So what's sustaining this is the Emperor taking control of your life. And so when the Emperor comes up, it talks about taking control of your life, but this is more so talking about Aries season is what I'm getting. So right now we're not so worried about like how to sustain it at this moment. We're more so kind of creating and allowing things to flow. And when Aries season comes up, we're going to start to see these things pop up like fast, y'all, because y'all know we're not living in this regular time like we were a few years ago. Like things are accelerated now, so things are showing up for us left and right. Like things are showing up for us in ways that we like couldn't really expect. So what it is now is just to allow that movement to happen, and then when Aries season pops up, the sustainability will come. What you need to sustain this will show up. The physical aspects of this, the action, the movements, that's all going to show up for you at that point. So let that be some guidance for you, to not worry so much. This is not the season for worrying, y'all. This is the season for imagining and being up in the realms and letting yourself, like, you know, really flow freely into that. Like, it is like something that we have lost so much track of, y'all, so much track of, and it's so important. Let's see. In the advice card, we got the Devil. Break those chains that bind you. You know, that whole song. The Devil comes up in our advice card and it says to let these things go. These are our addictions. These can be addictions to relationships. These can be addictions to people. This can be an addiction to a substance, alcohol, drugs, work. Workaholics too. Y'all count? Like, that's not healthy. Going to work all the time and not wanting to enjoy your life and be in your free time. That is not healthy. So the Devil comes up to tell you that it is time to really pay attention to what things are holding you back. We are at a point where we have to do the growth, y'all. Like, we have to do the growth. We should have done the growth already, first off. But the thing is that if we haven't done it, then we need to start to, like, you know, look at these things. And if we are in the process of growing, guess what? There'll always be more things that we need to recognize. So look at what things are holding you back from your next level. Are these people? Are these fears? Are these thoughts and ideas that your parents put into your head when you were younger? Like, what things are holding you into this place of not being able to move? Because on the other side of that, child, the Devil comes up and it's scary. Look at these people all hanging out down in there. They like trying to get out, but it's scary. But the thing is that following the Devil, we get the Sun. You don't even know what's coming up for you yet. Like, you have no idea what's on the other side of that fear. On the other side of that fear is your greatness. On the other side of that fear is light, is love, is connection. On the other side of that fear is stuff that you can't even start to imagine just yet right now. And the thing that I say all the time to people is that we are so stuck in our fears that we forget that in the place of possibility, and in the place of, you know, the place of possibility, means that the negative things could very well happen, and that's why we're afraid. But in that same space, all the positive things exist too. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Let it go. Let it go. And so that's to say that when the Sun comes up, it is really truly a celebration. Like, you will be heavily rewarded for doing the work this time around. We are having Saturn go in retrograde here over, I think it's at the end of April. And Saturn, as a friend of mine was telling me, and my astrologer, she was actually telling me that when Saturn goes in retrograde, it can be a good thing because the planet of limitation is stepping out of your way, and Saturn pays off well. So the things that you do and the things that you're putting in motion, even if you can't see right now how they're coming about, when Saturn goes into retrograde, for a lot of us, that means that the limitation is moving out of the way, and then that Jupiter energy can take over and expand and bring us the gifts of what it is. So Saturn can be harsh and limiting, but Saturn also pays off heavily and rewards us when it comes up. So that's to say, do the work, y'all. Do the work because you want to be a better person, not with the expectation of reward. That is the other part of it. I mean, obviously we want something out of it, but the reward should be just being a better person, being a fuller person, and being closer to the truth of who you are. So that's going on to say, break those chains, let those things go. I'm going to grab my other deck of cards, and we're going to finish this out with one of the Native Heart cards here. And so the Native Heart is all about, let's see. I'm going to tie it all together with one of these cards. All right. So let's see. Who wants to come out of here? Anybody. Going once. Going twice. Going once. 3 times. 4 times. All right, we'll stop there. We got the crown chakra, y'all. The crown chakra is about divine connection. So for those of y'all who are familiar with the chakras, this is your connection to the divine, to the universe. This is your connection to the stars, the heaven, the spirit, the ether, the realms beyond ourselves. And so this is important because this is where a lot of your downloads are going to be coming in, because it is Pisces season and because it is a Pisces new moon. You will be having a lot of dreams. You will be getting a lot of messages in your dreams. Write them down. Pay attention to them. Don't harp on them. Don't sit there and think about them all day, all night, trying to figure out what it means. Just pay attention to them. This is some high priestess ass energy, y'all. So card number 35 comes up. So let's see. Yeah, so just let yourself be in that energy. So we have the crown chakra. It says grounding, assessing your values, sensitivities. Be open to your wilderness. Here you will find the unexplainable raw beauty and the divine guidance of who you truly are. This mandala brings you the violet, silver, and golden rays of the crown chakra that connect you with the universal consciousness. Your energy has aligned with that of the Council of 12, a highly evolved, non-physical team of masters overseeing the evolution of humanity's heart-centered consciousness. It is important to note that this occurrence happens when one's crown and heart chakra have expanded to activate the pure love of Christ consciousness. This enables one to further achieve their mission. Recognize your divinity and live it. This chakra can also signify attachment to the physical world, feelings of emotional disconnection, and a resignation to living life this way. However, you will soon begin to feel more connected and at one with yourself and with the universe. Reevaluate what is important to you in your physical world. The things that you have surrounded yourself with and have come to love have fulfilled their purpose and will give way to a greater way of being. For you, this time is now. You have the ability and the tools within to access higher consciousness. Having the intention to do so is enough. The energy of this mandala is at your side during this heightened time and remind you that the timing is perfect for those anchoring the light within this planet and for those just beginning to understand their light. The time is now. All right, soul fam, so there you have it. This new moon is all about stepping into that beautiful Pisces energy of imagination, stepping into the possibilities of what could be, the possibilities of things that you have not even seen or witnessed yet. This is about building and kind of finalizing the plan before you step into Aries season, which is the first season, which is the first sign on the zodiac wheel. It's the first house. And that is a sign of initiative. So whatever we're planting right now, and like, again, this season is not only about planting and like kind of visualizing, but this season is also, and this new moon is also about removing our illusions and releasing things that have served their purpose in our lives. So I want to thank you all for tuning in so much. If you guys would like your personal readings, please go to www.miradtarot.com to book your appointments. Also, if you guys want anything as far as dream interpretations or organite pyramids, I will post those links down below. You can also follow me on Instagram under Miradi Tarot for daily tarot card readings and daily tarot card videos, and then also other news. And you can follow me at Miramids Pyramid Prescriptions to check out the organite pieces, healing devices, and art pieces that I have for y'all. All right, I thank you all so much for being here, and happy Pisces new moon. I'll see y'all next time. Until then, peace.